I'm Steve Cobb, and in today's video I'm going to talk about how to set your prices on eBay. Now I know most of you are familiar with the completed sales, but that's only half the information you need. But first, a quick trip to the post office. Okay, these are some shoes in my store. Click through to one of them. Let's say these Nikes. Okay. These are an unusual design in the fact that it's got little, I don't know, a little segmented below the heel. See if I can see the heel shot. Oh, here's the heel shot. There are deep depressions. In fact, you could probably run a pencil several inches into the underside of the shoe, below the body of the shoe, and between these segments. In fact, I think you could stick a pencil almost all the way through to the other side so that it sticks out the other side. Different shoemakers have tried different gimmicks, so to speak. At any rate, the goal here is to do a search. This is, of course, a shoe I've actually got listed. Now, it says results matching fewer words. 0 results at this point. You have to remove some of the stuff, remove the size to broaden that. I'll get rid of pink and magenta. And running. Even sport. Athletic is sufficient. 84 results. Now, you'll notice these also have the same type of underside as the shoe we're looking for. Now, the next step is to change this to highest first. You could do lowest first if you wanted. And to get rid of all the stuff that's new. Since my shoes are not new, I only want to compare it against prices for shoes that are in fact new. This one did not sell at the asking price. They took a best offer. That's what the cross-out means. And these are, by the way, the green indicates that these are all completed auctions. That's actually made deals that were found, so to speak, so that the shoes sold. There are 71 results here. Now, usually the first thing I do is I go to sold auctions to find my price, and I ignore the first few and I look at the next ones. So the first one was $60, well, less than 60, but the next one's $39, $49, that's crossed out, but $39 and $34. So that's the I would estimate the high end of the high end of the price window, you could say. Now you go to the bottom, and of course this sold on bids, and bids mean it was auctioned, and I'm not really interested in auctions. I'm going to do a buy it now price. So I want to look at the lower prices, and I'm going to discount the very, very lowest ones, because on buy it now people put up whatever price they think is most appropriate, and some of them really don't do any research. They just eyeball it, so to speak. They wing it. In other words, they invent a number out of the air based on maybe what they think it's worth for some reason or other, and sometimes what they think it's worth is wildly inaccurate. Anyway, you got a $6 and plus $6.80 shipping, so I would ignore that. And since we're dealing with 71 listings here, I would probably get rid of the first at least 5, and which puts you to $20 with free shipping. So I would say the low end of this shoe is $20 with no shipping. And the high end of this shoe, the higher end of the window of this prices, is probably $39.99. Now, let's see. Now, that's simply based on looking at the sold auction, which is a good indicator. There are 50 items listed here, but I also want to look at the offerings, because if there's 500 offerings and only 50 sold, that doesn't bode well. That indicates you really need to go to the lower end of the window. On the other hand, if there are only 5 offered and 50 sold, well, then you can go to the high end of the window easily and still expect to sell relatively quickly. So let's find out what the offerings are. 58. It is 58 offerings, and once again, 50 results on sold auctions. So they're approximately equal, roughly. Now, the fact that they're equal is actually rather unusual. Most things, there'll be 4 times or 6 times as many offerings as there are sold items. And so this is definitely sort of a hot ticket item. Now, if you're familiar with Nike, you know Nikes sell very well. And so this sort of emphasizes that the sales are very strong for Nike. But those are my criteria. I go to sold auction and I look for the high end, discounting a few off the top, go to the low end, discount a few off the bottom to find my window. Then I go to the unsold offerings to compare the total number of those against the total number of sold offerings to get a sense of just how strong is the demand. And then I pick my region within the window that I've defined as the high and the low end of the window in order to get a strong estimate or a good estimate of where I should price my shoes. There are other considerations, of course. How badly worn the shoes are. Do they look brand new? I mean, do they look like they were worn twice? Do they look like they were worn out, which I wouldn't have bought them probably. But another consideration is, especially in, say, high heels or dress shoes, if they are brown or some color, if they're not red and they're not black and they're not brown, well, then they're an oddball color. And they're probably going to sit for a while. They may bring a nice price, but they're probably going to sit for a while. If they're red and certain styles, a flashy sort of a out on the town style, maybe a strappy pump or something, if they're bright red, then they'll sell really well. If they are black, they'll sell really well, or at least they'll sell reliably. But if they're brown or weird, some strange color, blue sells okay, but not as fast as black and red. Black and red seem to be the hottest colors for women's shoes. Amongst men's shoes, black is overwhelmingly, unless it's an athletic shoe, overwhelmingly more popular than brown. But there are other considerations too. The style, the trendiness of the style. Let me show you some more shoes from my store. This was a brand and style of shoe that I was completely unfamiliar with. It's called a Z-coil, and it has a coiled spring underneath the heel, specifically underneath the heel, not the front. And they're pretty pricey. I've got mine set at $99. They sell new for, I think it's close to $200. It's above $150. They're selling used ones for $150 and $129. But when I bought it, I had a vague memory that they were valuable. These were pretty dirty, but they were in good shape. There wasn't that much wear on them. And so this style, which is dubbed as a pain-relieving style with a very softer cushion to the walk, the style makes it more valuable. Now, Converse Chuck Taylors are also very popular. These have a metallic finish, which is a bit unusual. And so I put them close to the new price. Of course, these were practically new. I think they'd been worn only twice before. These boots, I put the price a bit high because they're red and they're practically new. some things it's almost impossible to know how to price it. These shoes, for example, are 5/A Baker sneakers. They're made by a company that makes horse blankets, equestrian blankets, and they make the equestrian blankets with this plaid, this type of plaid, and so for some reason or other they got them in their heads that they were going to make a shoe that with that plaid. They're not super popular, certainly not outside of equestrian circles, but they do exist, and these were practically new. This is an example of a boot that was in good shape, but brand new. It sells for like $150, but it doesn't seem to have much resale value, or said in reverse. Let me show you Isaac Mizrahi. That's how I pronounce his name. Okay, here we go. Isaac Mizrahi boots, ankle boots. There are 103 results. These are the offerings, not the sold listings. If you click on sold, mind you, that's 103. 9. Now, apparently he's an important designer, but it appears that people, the general public, really haven't discovered in a big way his material, so that his boots, if you put them on eBay, basically they go begging to be sold. They go wanting, which is of course just the opposite of Nike and a number of other brands that are very popular and very famous and very sought after. You've got to remember, I suppose, that eBay is a search engine, and by being a search engine, people have to search for stuff to find it. And if the designer is a major name and maybe it's top quality, if their name isn't in the public mind, isn't being searched, then you're not going to be able to sell their stuff very quickly. You'll either have to lower your price considerably or be patient. But again, this is one of the reasons why people seek out Nike and some of the other major, more popular names, more recognizable names, more searchable names, because those shoes will move. I've sold a lot of Nike and New Balance, Converse. These are names people are searching for. At any rate, I hope this helped you a little bit. If you guys enjoyed this video, be sure and give it a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button. And as always, thank you for watching.